What's up, Duke fans? We're back here for the first time in a while. We have the three seniors, senior week this week, which is pretty insane to say out loud. But we've taken a little hiatus with the Brotherhood Podcast. Being in the middle of the season, we're trying to get everybody locked in and focus on winning as many games as possible. But we wanted to bring it back for this special occasion. Had to bring it back for senior week, so we're here to talk with the three seniors of the team on senior night. Obviously, you guys have been here longer than me, but it feels like it's still emotional for me as well being here, especially since I've delayed my senior night 3 times now in my 6th year. But we're here right now. We're 4 days away from
the last game in Cameron.
From both of your last games in Cameron. How are you feeling? Did you ever think you were going to get here?
I mean, I did, but then at the same time, yeah, obviously, it's been a crazy 4 years, up and down. But just I haven't really even thought about it like that. Just like this could be my last game in Cameron. Just like I said this yesterday. Like, I'm just focused on really the season, worry about winning a national championship, worrying about winning the ACC championship, and letting the rest take care of itself.
Yeah, sort of like Jeremy said. I mean, you get so caught up in the season and winning each game that you kind of forget to think about it, and then it hits you. So that's where I'm kind of at right now, similar to Jeremy.
I might shed a tear maybe.
I was just going to ask that. I've seen a number of teammates, and I'm sure you guys have too, that you don't expect to, and when they get out there, the emotion hits them all at once.
I might shed a tear.
You're going to try to keep a straight face?
Yeah, I'm going to try to keep a straight face. I think I can. I think I'm good at that, though. I'm good at that.
Spen?
Might hit a wave.
How many people? You guys got people coming?
I got people hitting me up at the woodworks for this one. I ain't going to lie. But the ACC tournament's in DC, so it's like they can pull up to that too. But definitely a lot of people trying to hit me up and yo, you got a ticket? Like, nah, not for you. So.
What about, you mentioned the ups and downs, and you guys have talked about it a little bit, but you went from first year here not making the tournament to second year Final Four to last year in the middle and now to this year. Can you talk about, I guess, when you think about the 4 years, what kind of impact has that had on you, especially just, I guess that's somewhat rare for a Duke player since that had to be the first time Duke hadn't made the tournament in a number of years.
I mean, I feel like that year we would have made the tournament though. We had to win 5 games in 5 days, but we ended up getting COVID, so that's why we got disqualified. But just the ride has been, like you said, not making the tournament first year, going to the Final Four, it being Coach K's last year, like that year was insane. And then obviously Shire, getting a new job and then having a whole new team. I mean, it's been a different ride every year. So I mean, I think that's kind of what's made me grow up so fast. Obviously I'm a senior, but growing up, going through those wars and going through those tough times and stuff like that, I mean, that kind of makes you mature and grow up a little bit faster. So being the OG, trying to spread the knowledge, spread some game on these young guys and getting them right.
Yeah. Anything else, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy ride for sure. Being a part of 2 legendary coaches, being able to have that opportunity to be on those teams, just the guys who have come through here too, playing against them in practice and competing just every day has been special to be a part of.
You guys have seen some dudes come through here. Yeah. Spen, obviously your journey different from anybody else's here, coming in as a walk-on and then earning a scholarship, which is, I've seen it once or twice, but one of the cooler things that happens in all of sports and college sports in general. Can you talk about that in general, I guess, and what that has meant to you and that experience?
Yeah, like you said, I my freshman year I was a practice player, and then got the call up from Coach, which was another really amazing feeling, and I can't thank Coach enough for trusting and believing in me. But kind of like we talked about, you're just focused on being here every day and going through this whole journey with your teammates and working really hard and dedicating yourself to the craft, not really worried about, what's after this. And I think Duke basketball just has that like feeling of consumption because you're so, amazed and kind of like struck to be here. And so, kind of just reaping the rewards from that was a really gratifying feeling. And I'm so grateful to Shire and the coaching staff. Dildy, Shrog, Sewell, Jay. It's just made me feel like I belong and like I was a part of something bigger than myself, which is it's my purpose. It's been my purpose for the last 3 or 4 years, which has been amazing.
Yeah. How about, you talked about the transition. You two and Jalen are the only people now in the program to have experienced both Coach K and Coach Shire. How do you look back on that? How it's been, now we're in year 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Just to be a part of both legendary coaches, like he said, be a part of 2 eras. I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, Coach K, he was special. I mean, obviously he's the greatest of all time. Was doing it for a long time. I'm just honored to be able to be coached by him and him sprinkle some game on me too, just to try to make me the best human I can be, not just on the floor, but off the court too. And then obviously Coach Shire, he was the first one to call me when Duke was recruiting me. So I mean, it's special just being by his side and him just having the confidence in me to now be a 2-year captain, and just him putting his trust in me is big time. So,
yeah. Both coaches, like Jeremy said, giving you an opportunity is just, and bringing you in like family and treating you with respect as an individual and as a teammate. Great experience for me. Great coaches. I couldn't be happier.
How's your experience been with Shire?
It's been great. It was honestly, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but when I was being recruited here, I didn't really, I knew I wanted to go somewhere and help a team win, but I also wanted to make sure I was like playing and have an impact on the court. So the first time he called me, I basically was like, hey, I appreciate it. Obviously it's a dream to come and play here, but I don't want to be a guy that goes somewhere and like sits on the end of the bench.
Yeah.
And so it took a couple phone calls for him to like convince me and tell me that he thought I could have an impact here.
For sure.
So I feel like that's where I really started to trust and understand, Coach Shire and believe in him and his vision. So it's been fantastic.
That's
When you talked about being, well, first of all, actually I had a question. Did you guys know coming in that there was a potential for Coach K to call it halfway through your career?
No, I had no idea.
I didn't. I mean, sophomore year was like some speculations, but I actually didn't know. And then obviously the news came out. But coming into Duke, I didn't think it was gonna be like that. So
yeah, no clue. I mean, I think you suspect, but you never know. I mean, such a great coach. He could keep on coaching, I'm sure.
Greater than life figure almost. Hard to see it happen. Going back to recruiting, when you made the decision to come here, and you had your idea of what Duke would be like. Now you're sitting here 4 years later, about to come to the final game in Cameron. How does it compare to what you thought it was going to be?
You started off.
It's a loaded question.
Man. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't traditionally recruited here or anything, but I mean, it's such an amazing experience, from the outside, but all of that is sort of amplified when you get here, and so it's a lot of what you expect. You expect to be a part of winning at the highest level, but when you get here, I think you start to actualize what that means and how much energy and time and resources that takes, and from everybody, from the operations people to the coaching staff to the managers to the players. It's just been amazing to be a part of.
Repeat your question. It was like kind of a long question, so I want to make sure.
When you think back about when you were being recruited here, what you thought the experience was going to be like?
Yeah.
You're 4 years late.
Yeah. Like you said, it's been pretty much everything that I expected. I mean, obviously, like when you get here, it amplifies too. But just playing in front of the crazies, like my first time playing in front of the crazies, that was my sophomore year. But like the first time it was like a movie. Like it was packed gym. Felt like everybody was on top of you. So like just playing in camera has always been special. I mean, everybody in the Duke community, friendly. Like just meeting different people from different backgrounds. I mean, like you don't think you're gonna get that. I mean, obviously Duke is what it is. It's one of the prominent universities. But like coming here and just seeing it all, like just seeing all different types of backgrounds. I mean, it's been cool. And obviously, like you said, like just the coaching staff, the managers, whether it's Sam and B, like they've always showed love and treating everybody like family. I mean, so it's like it's been a great ride.
Yeah, I can't think back of like I've only been here 2 years, but one of the biggest things for me that I was expecting, but it kind of hit different when I finally got here and we started clicking last year on that 10-game win streak, was just the talent level here and the differential between other schools. And like at Northwestern, we would lose some games against teams and just think, like they outworked us, they had a better, whatever, they came out and shot better. I got here and started to realize there's some games that we win because we just have freaky athletes and studs. Like last year at times, like Derek Lively protecting the rim and getting like 7 or 8 blocks against UNC, or like Jared going out against Florida State this year and just like shooting that way. Is just, you start to realize like, that the talent here is different, but when you finally win some of those games and you're like, we just have different kind of guys here.
Yeah, we got dudes. We got dudes.
And then maybe you guys had a better understanding of it, but I didn't at all in terms of the Brotherhood and what that means. And obviously it's a Brotherhood podcast, so we're gonna talk about it in a little bit. But I want to know if there's anybody, you guys have now been probably at K Academy for 4 years. Is there anybody that you formed a relationship with through the Brotherhood that we didn't play with, but that's meant a lot to you since you've been here?
I mean, really everybody. Like there's been a lot of people who came through K. I'm not gonna name them all, but like Quinn Cook, obviously Rookie Price, like obviously Nolan, he's at Louisville doing his thing. But I mean, the Brotherhood is everything. What it literally stands for, the Brotherhood. I mean, if you ever need anything, like you got numerous of people that can help you out at any time, and they're always here to support you. Like they're at games, you see them, they're getting introduced. In the middle of the games, they're always coming back and showing love, coming back in the locker room, sprinkling some game. I mean, obviously Shane Batty or Jay Will's been here, stuff like that. So just to have those kind of people in your corner, I mean, it just means a lot, and they're always gonna support you. Those are the people you're playing for. I mean, you want to kind of leave this better than you found it, but I mean, obviously they always gonna support you, and whether you're doing bad, whether you're doing good, so it's all love.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to Jeremy's point, I think the Brotherhood a lot of times is spoken about as like a symbol, but there's actual meaning behind it, and when you get here, you realize the guys that you're playing with individually, the things they're going through, and just the support that we bring to each other, to help each other get to the next stage of life and reach individual success. And then, when you see how that culminates into winning, and I mean, it's a special thing to be a part of. It's not just a brotherhood for the public, but it's a meaningful bond between the guys, I'd say.
It's the real deal. I feel like when you said people out there, like former players, are supporting us, I thought last night things kept going sideways after they went up 9-2. I was like, Jay Billis is going to be out here arresting kids if they try to storm the court tonight.
That was last night. Kind of got a little bit of flashbacks from that, but it was all good.
What did we open up, 9-2?
It was actually 9-2. It was 7-0. Then they called a timeout. Then they scored immediately after 2 and went to 9-0. So I was like, we got to lock in.
A lot of growth though. That's what Shire mentioned. Obviously last year it felt the same, and just having more experienced, older, mature team. I thought that showed a lot, and it's a good experience. Speaking of growth, I was going to ask how you've seen yourselves grow over 4 years and mature and change. If you can think back that far. I have trouble trying to think back to my freshman year. It feels like forever ago.
I mean, coming into freshman year, I mean, you kind of think you know it all. You're not to say like you got a big head or whatever, but you kind of think you know it all. But college hits you fast. Obviously, those first couple of games, it's like, okay, I kind of don't know it all. You kind of want to lean on the vets a little bit more, and then obviously next year you get a little bit better, a little bit more experience, and then I mean, obviously junior, senior, it's like now you've seen it all. You've seen every defense. You've seen every team in the ACC. You know how a team plays. You know how a crowd is going to react. You know how you've been in major crowds. I've obviously been going to the Final Four was a big thing, playing in front of 75,000, but it's playing in front of different crowds. Like, you've literally seen it all. So it's like nothing really phases you at this point in life. And I mean, that's probably why seniors have so much success now.
Yeah.
Obviously now in this time, because I feel like you can't really win without those veteran guys that have already gone through it. So it's been a good time.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Gurley, DB, I think brought Todd Gurley here the other day, and he said something at the end of practice about not thinking you're as good as you are, but also not thinking that you're as bad as you are. And just realizing that it's really about dedicating yourself to each day, and improving, and none of that other stuff really matters, like in terms of comparing yourself to guys' trajectories. Once you start embracing that, I think that's what changed for me.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that too. Just putting your head down and working, because like obviously here, if you got a bad game, I mean, obviously you know how Twitter gets and stuff like that. If you have a bad game, they might, he's this, he's that. But like, if you just really put your head down and work and just keep coming back in every day, whether it's a good day or bad day, just come back the next day and work. Like, the work's gonna show. And I think that's what I kind of prided myself in doing. Just kind of not worry about what anybody else says and just kind of work, and just know my confidence has got to be at an all-time high, because I think that's one of the biggest things in college is having confidence. And once you have that, nobody can take that from you.
Yeah. Staying steady is like something Coach Shire says a lot, and I feel like I didn't really understand the importance of it until last year and this year, in the way that, like what you mentioned, Spen, when Todd Gurley said that, it was something about like you're never as good as people say you are, and you're never as bad as people say you are. Yeah. And that's hard to like. That's pretty hard to like actually think about in the moment, especially when you're on top of the world or we've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've realized it's definitely pretty true. But again, just hard to realize that in the moment.
No.
How about, we just kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you were to look back and talk to yourself, your senior year in high school, what kind of advice would you give?
I say being steady. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If I knew just to be steady, and like losing the game in college is not the end of the world, or having a bad game or having a bad practice is not the end of the world, like I'd probably be, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm being in a better position, but I just would have been further along, obviously, in my freshman year. But I'd probably say just be steady, because like obviously as a freshman, you lose a game in November, you're like, oh, like this is the end of the world, like nobody's gonna remember this game in November that you play. So just being steady and staying the course, like don't ever let anybody deter you what you're doing. Just kind of going, like I said, take it day by day, work. It doesn't matter if it's a good day or a bad day, just kind of just keep going and follow your journey.
Yeah, I mean, like, you see guys coming out of high school who are ranked super high, and then vice versa, guys who weren't ranked at all and playing really well on a college stage. And I think, like, Shire and Coach K talk about the story with Grayson Allen all the time, and all the DMPs he had the season where they won the national championship. And then, he starts to just keep his head down and starts playing well in practice, and he gets his moment and he makes the most of it. Just speaks to that sort of mentality of keeping your head down. And that's I guess what I would tell myself coming out of high school.
What about you? That's like,
Yeah,
how far has it been?
It's been a while, man. It's been 6.
Heck, that would be sad.
Uh,
I'm getting up there too.
I guess to answer my own. Oh yeah, you're right there. To answer my own question, I'd say don't. You don't want to finish the season with any regrets in terms of not necessarily how you play. I mean, you can only control so much of making shots and stuff like that. But now you guys being a senior, you can see, and just going through, you can see how impactful your teammates are. I feel like Coach Shire's always told me a lot, but the things you say to your teammates mean more to them than anything the coaches could say because you're in it with them, and it's just that kind of dynamic. So, what I would tell my younger self, for anybody coming in, and it's a little different when you're younger, but anybody can be a leader, and I just think it's overrated to hold your tongue or try and be a respectful and person and whatever. Just like think it's not your place to say something. You'll regret it, and it's just not worth going through that, especially if you're an old guy now. And obviously, Jeremy and our captains, but people respect anything Spencer says in the locker room from what he's done and been through here. So I feel like that's something I would try and impart on young guys is you're going to regret it if you go through a season or your career holding back from your teammates and not giving it everything you have.
No, that's true.
That's one thing. I feel like I would say, can you talk about the final game in Cameron? Obviously, I've only had 2 years here, but you very quickly understand how special of a place it is. Just in general, can you talk about playing in this building, what it's meant to you, and specifically the Crazies? I mean, they just left. It was kind of weird to walk in last night and not see all the tents there because it feels like they've been here for months.
I mean, that's who makes this place so special. I mean, the Crazies. I mean, they show out their sacrifices every year, every game. I mean, the line monitors, them camping out in the rain and the snow, it's cold, 30 degrees outside, and they're still outside showing love. We come back at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., they're outside waving to us and all that good stuff. I mean, but just playing in this historic building, I mean, it's been crazy to even be able to say I've played here for 4 years here. Just the greats that have came through. Obviously, you got.
You gonna list all the Duke greats?
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I can't even list all of them. But I mean, it speaks for itself. But just playing in front of this amazing crowd, the best fans in the country. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, even the guys that leave the NBA, leave to go to the NBA, they always say it's no other place like Cameron. It's no other place like Cameron. Even when they're playing in front of 30,000, 35,000 a night. So it's a special place. It's always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Yes, it's so real. And I guess you don't really feel it until you're out here. But even in the warm-ups, just, students chatting to you, just kind of engaging with the fans, seeing familiar faces, it's so special. It makes it feel like community, like home. But yeah, I mean, the love that they showed me, during the Louisville game and during the Dartmouth game,
You talk about that pretty quickly, though, against Louisville. I feel like I haven't really asked you about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at you guys on the bench going crazy.
I was in there.
I was in there. I set the screen. I got you open.
You did.
Yeah,
it was pretty high ball screen.
You got Mark running up and down the sideline.
Yeah, but I love my teammates, and that's part of what makes it so amazing is to see them, the people that you go through all of this with every day, the people that it matters to see them to celebrate with them it was really special.
Yeah. Only last thing I'll say about Cameron and the Crazies in specific is that, and I feel fortunate to have another experience to be able to compare it to, but I know you guys can feel it too. The impact that they have on winning is very real.
Yeah.
The confidence that they give you in this building is substantial, and you can see it in other teams and when they come in here. But when I was at Northwestern, there were plenty of games. If we'd be having a tough season, where we'd play Illinois in state, and there'd be far more Illinois fans at the game. Obviously, that would never happen here, but you can feel the effect that they have on winning, and to say that they don't play a pretty big role in our home games would just be false.
Yeah.
so I noticed that very quickly, like the confidence that you feel playing in front of people, and you have this whole arena behind you, makes a difference.
For sure.
Shout out to the line monitors.
Shout out to the line monitors. Shout out to the crazy. Shout out to everybody camping out. Man, your work doesn't go unnoticed. We see you.
Last big question before we get into some like quick favorite memories and stuff, but this is maybe the biggest loaded question, but what do you think you'll miss the most?
This playing in front of, I probably wouldn't even say, I'd probably just say just the day-to-day, like just the conversations that we have, just we're in the training room before practice and stuff like that, joking around, the weight room, working with y'all obviously, but just like the camaraderie that we have, whether it's with the coaches, with the media staff, or just, the teammates, the locker room conversation, that's we can say that for another day, but that's the stuff I'm gonna miss, just the day-to-day, that process, because like, without the process, you're not gonna have the final result. So I don't know. That's probably the biggest thing. Just the whole process of the work, the early morning runs, the 6 a.m. runs, and won't miss that. But just all that stuff is like, that's what I don't know. That's definitely the stuff that's gonna be most memorable. Obviously, playing in camera is gonna speak for itself, but just the day-to-day working and just talking and just doing what you do on a daily basis throughout the season is probably what I'm gonna miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Jerm is saying, we work really hard, make no mistake, but we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And I think it just speaks to the type of people we have around the program, people who are really good at their jobs, but are even better people. And just being in the weight room with Coach Will, Coach Blair, Say, Nick, waking up for those runs, going through all that together. It was rough, but it's something, that bonds us together, and we can joke about at the end of the day, and say we did that. It's an accomplishment. So
yeah. Both talked about the people around you and just like being together. Do you guys remember, there's a video, it's now probably like 6 or 7 years old, but it resurfaces like every time around this year in March, or the kid from BC, he's asked him like an interview question after they lose in either March Madness or the ACC tournament. They asked him like what he's gonna miss the most, and it goes viral on Twitter because it's like, people laugh at it. It is like funny, but it's like they asked him like what he's gonna miss the most, and he like breaks down and cries for like a minute, and then he looks up and says, going out to eat with the team, and like continues to cry. You know what I'm talking about or no?
I feel like I've seen that video, but I'm not remembering. But like going out to eat, yeah.
Well, I understand why it's funny and like why it like goes viral every year on Twitter, but I do resonate with it a lot. I feel like I've played a ton of games, and I have no idea like what my overall record is. I feel like I texted you guys this after the year last year, but the wins and losses, they fade. Like you can't remember everything. Yeah. The relationships you make with your teammates
it's always gonna be
I feel like there's guys that I see that I haven't seen in 2-3 years, and you just pick back up like that, and you remember going out to eat with the team. You remember like being at study hall together. You remember laughing in the training room before practice starts at 6 a.m. Yeah. And so I always like when that comes up on Twitter, or like I'll send you guys after. You're gonna. It's like, it's funny. I get why people think it's funny, but I also understand very much where he's coming from, and I think I'm positive that's what I'll miss the most. Having your closest 15 friends in the world with you for 4 to 5 hours a day working towards a common goal is like not something you get everywhere. And it's those moments, going out to eat, going to the movies together, that I think I'll remember forever. And like you said, I'll remember playing in here, and the big wins and the tough losses I won't forget, but they're definitely gonna be overshadowed by just those moments, going out to eat with the team where you feel, the closest with your group.
Yeah, that's like what you said about, we were talking about the brotherhood. It's like guys that, obviously we've been on the same team, but guys like Mark, guys like Matt, guys like Wendell, like we still talk to this day. Like it's been like 2-3 years, and even like guys like Henry Coleman from the freshman year team, like all those guys, we still really talk pretty much every day. And like you see the bond is like you said, you can't see if you're not gonna see somebody, or if you haven't seen somebody in like 2-3 years, like you come back and it's like y'all been together every day. Like I've seen that a meal like Quinn, like 2015 national championship team, they come back and it's like they're locked in Matt Jones or something like that, Grayson Allen. They're coming back and it's like we were on campus like yesterday. So I think it's just like Spence said, the people that Duke brings in, and just like the kind of type of character that everybody has.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times I think they get you through it too, whatever you're going through. You know, off-court challenges included. But yeah, I mean, we love spending time together so much. Like, we're going to see Dune 2 today. We haven't even seen Dune 1, so.
You got to watch a recap. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be there. I got to coach tonight too.
You're coaching the managers?
Yeah.
Are they in the playoffs?
I think it is. Yeah, it is the playoffs. I got to cover I told him I'm like a mix of like Ty Lue and like Phil Jackson. 'Cause I'm like really like an in-game adjustment type Ty Lue, but like my concept is like Phil Jackson, so I gotta.
It's philosophy.
Yeah.
You get the guys going in the locker room pre-game.
Pre-game.
What
Pre-game
you wearing a
speech.
suit tonight? You wearing a polo?
Polo, slacks. Don't know what shoes I have on yet, but it'll be special.
You gotta look respectable out there.
Yeah. So it's a big time game tonight.
Let's wrap up with a couple quick hitters that are over the full 4 years. Can we start with the favorite spot on campus for both of you?
Spot on campus. For me, I'd say it'd have to be the Gardens. I just love chilling there, being out in nature. It's like a pretty ridiculous place to have on a campus, I think.
It's insane. Nobody told me, like I've heard of the Duke Gardens all of last year, never went because I figured like it's like a small garden or whatever.
Dude, you have
Yeah.
it's
No,
huge.
now I go
It's
like
not
once a
as-
week,
not-
just like
it's
walk
not so-
around.
Yeah. Not Cameron. Gardens is a good spot. I don't know. Duke has a lot of good spots. I'd probably say Woo. Woo is a very good spot. Get some great eats. You can see all your friends. It's always packed there. Yeah, I'd probably say Woo.
Favorite Duke tradition?
The camp out.
Yep.
Just the crazy showing love. Just seeing them camp out for us for just like one specific game. Obviously they go to multiple games, but just for the UNC game, I mean, it's just special to have that fan base behind you and just want you to play that much harder just for them because the sacrifices that they make. So.
Yeah.
I'd say just the pregame music when we're about to line up for the national anthem.
Yeah, every time we
It's pretty-
touch.
Yeah, every time
we touch.
It's pretty special. Yeah.
It does.
What about you? Your 2 years here.
There's been a lot of really cool things. I will say I have a love-hate relationship with Countdown because I dreaded it and hate going out there in front of 10,000.
You don't like dancing?
Not my thing. But at the same time, it's pretty incredible to see all these students and everybody come out for a scrimmage essentially, and not even a real game, and just like still like weeks before the season starts, you feel how special it is and how much people care here, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
So
Countdown was always fun though.
it's always fun until like they call your name and you gotta run out there, and then you're like,
What was yours this year? It was just this
I
one?
gave a couple hearts,
Oh, yeah,
a couple
my-
peace
yeah,
signs for
yeah.
Mr. Brightside.
That was good.
Try to get the people singing that.
Yeah.
Take away from eyes on me, which is the goal. How about you guys have seen a lot of guys come through here, favorite or best teammate in your Duke career, excluding each other? Unless you want to say each other, that could be really sweet.
Yeah, I could say me and Spence. I mean, me and Spence, we've been at it, living together for like 3 years. So I mean, bad games. I mean, he's always coming in and giving me confidence and stuff like that. Just always have my back, whether it's right or wrong or how I feel. I mean, he's always just giving me that confidence and stuff like that. So I mean, it's always just big time to have another dude's perspective that is on the team. And obviously, this is my brother right here. So it's like like his advice is gonna mean that much more. Like you said, obviously coming from a coach is gonna mean something, but just coming from his perspective, it's like, all right, babe, maybe I can do this. I can do this. So I'm just keeping your confidence up high. I probably should. Obviously, I'm going with my guy Spence for sure. I mean, but it's been numerous guys. I'm not going to just single out one person, but I've said all my teammates, but definitely Spence is going back to the crib, talking about the game, chatting it up and stuff like that. It's been good.
Spence, you have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever here.
Well, I'm gonna return the compliment. Yeah, I mean, it's been so cool to just have a relationship built naturally, where we can just, give each other advice. I think a lot of times I can see stuff that, Jeremy's doing on the court that maybe he can't see. And just to have him and other guys on the team, respect my opinion and hear me out has been, the most amazing thing. But yeah, I'd say like all my teammates, Jeremy and I have been roommates for past 3 years, but big fella, all
Big
those
fella.
guys from
Can't forget Bug.
Can't forget Bug. Yeah. All those guys from my sophomore, junior seasons, got close with all of them. So.
Oh, absolutely. I have down here Fave Road Dub.
Fave Road Dub.
You guys got a lot of them.
We got it.
The Final Four year, you were undefeated on the road in conference?
I think so, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Favorite road dub. I'd probably say beating UNC by 20 at home at their spot was definitely pretty special. I mean, AJ had one of the best performances of the year there, and just being able to kind of shut them up, had them be quiet for the rest of pretty much. It was like 12 minutes left in the second half, and I don't think they said a word after that. So that was definitely a big time win for sure.
Off the top, I guess this wasn't technically at anyone's crib, but the game against Gonzaga in Vegas was just a really fun game. The energy in there was insane. I think they sold out the arena, which was huge.
T-Mobile?
Yeah, I think it was T-Mobile, which holds a ridiculous amount of people. But just in the locker room after, I remember how excited everyone was about that. And just, I mean, matchup-wise, P was going against Chet.
A lot of star power there.
Yeah, so it was a fun game.
I guess I would echo the UNC win at their place. I feel like that's hard to top. Just the amount of hatred you feel in that building is on a different level.
Yeah.
And whenever we go anywhere, teams want to see it. People and fans want to see us lose.
Yeah,
we're Duke, but UNC is different, man.
It was like
there's some energy in that building.
some energy in that building, but it's all love though. It's all love.
Going off that, how about favorite road gym?
I like playing at UVA. It's the hometown spot. I probably said the two VA spots, Virginia Tech and UVA.
Virginia Tech's pretty electric.
Yeah.
I don't think people talk about that enough across the country in college
They
basketball.
got a good fan base for sure. Yeah. It's always rocking in there every time we play.
Yeah. No, the stadium, the way the stadium is designed, feels like there's way more people in there.
Gym is damn near black. It's no lights in there.
Yeah.
It's cool though. Always electric, but I'd probably say that. I'm probably thinking, am I forgetting something? Yeah, no, I'll probably definitely the two VAs. I'll say the two VAs.
Say those. Playing in the dome at Syracuse is pretty weird.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
My first year playing there was low-key weird.
Is that when you guys played? When did you play them? When your Final Four team, you guys were up
We were up 40 to 10. It was something crazy like that.
That happened last year too. I always remember going in and people were like, "It's a weird shooting gym. I don't know how we're gonna do."
We shoot
it pretty well.
We shoot it pretty well. I don't know. That's definitely a good spot to play at for sure. Just playing in a big football stadium, it's kind of weird though, but it's definitely fire though.
It's different.
Definitely fire.
It's a cool experience.
Yeah.
How about let's flip that to games in Cameron. The favorite game I've played at Duke.
Favorite game at Duke? I don't know. They're all special, obviously in their own way. But I can't pinpoint just one game at Cameron. Do you have?
I don't have one in Cameron, but you said just all time.
Just all time.
right?
Sure. Yeah.
All time I do. Yeah. You can go first.
I was
Let me see what you
thinking Michigan State.
say. Yeah. I mean,
that was a big one for you.
That was a big game. Michigan State or like the Texas Tech game, or just the Arkansas game, going to the Final Four. Just that experience, going up on the podium, cutting down the nets and stuff like that. Like just having that experience, and being Coach K's last year was like that made it even way more special. So I'll probably say those games right there.
Yeah. I think one of the ones we don't talk about a lot is the Pitt game at home last year. We were down like 11 or 12 at halftime. That was still pretty early in conference. I feel like we're still trying to figure it out as a group and get rolling.
I think that's when I
and coming out in that second half, like that was one of the better 20 minutes that we had put together against a good team.
Yeah.
And just like it
energy.
felt weird that we were down 10.
Different.
And the energy in here was so high. I was like, we're not losing this game.
There's no way.
And then just like willed our way to.
Flip had like 30 that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
His flip, but
crazy.
it was like there was offensive rebound in the second half, like getting good like quality buckets in the paint. It just felt like, even though we were losing the whole time, I was like, I feel like we're gonna win this game.
I was hyped.
And that's a different feeling, and I think it's largely due to Cameron.
Should have seen me coaching out there. That's the game I didn't play. I was in the middle of.
Oh, you didn't play in the Pitt game?
Yeah, I didn't play the big game.
Well, that's
Had my towel, trying to
half.
get the crazies going. I think that's low-key why we got it going, but we're not going to talk about that, though.
Last one, favorite play or bucket in general you've gotten at Duke?
It's got to be that Hezzy pull on Michigan State, for sure. To put us up 4, like a minute left. It was like 5 seconds on the shot clock. Regular Hezzy pull. Crowd went crazy.
Yeah, I mean, not many to choose from, but
his.
no, definitely the 3 against Louisville was super special. Like I said, just because I looked at the bench and saw their reaction. But I mean, Bug was electric. He turns me up always.
That was the loudest Cameron got all night. That might have been the loudest he's gotten in a couple of games for real. Like that was.
I was thinking of that, like for a good like 6 or 7 seconds, I couldn't hear anything, and my head was like pounding because of it. And actually, they came down and set a screen on Spencer, and I was like,
yeah, shout out.
Not even gonna open.
Yeah,
Shout
out Ryan Young for getting.
No. I'm saying after, as like Cameron was screaming, they came down and like somebody set a screen on Spencer, and I was like, I'm not even gonna try to like call it out right now. It's just ridiculous.
Appreciate that.
But that was one of the loudest I've heard Cameron for sure.
Yeah, when Cameron gets loud, you don't hear anything. You get clipped by every screen. Can't hear one thing.
The next defensive possession is
man, everybody's like, what's happening out there? Like, can't hear anything. Like, you're not even hearing the screen, but it's all good.
That's always happens like twice a game. You walk back to the bench and the coaches are like, what are you guys aren't talking out there? You didn't communicate on that ball screen. It's
like,
I screamed as loud as I could.
Yeah, like I'm about to lose
I'm trying out there.
I'm about to lose my voice.
That's all the quick hitters I had. I guess just last parting thoughts about senior night. What's going through your mind?
Well,
as it's coming up, as it hit. I know we're trying. Yeah. I know in theory, like you try to lock in and you try to only care about the game, but it's something that's at least in the back of my head.
I feel like it'll hit me like Saturday right before game time or something like that, maybe. But like at the end of the day, like I said, we got a job to do. Come out here and get this win on Saturday. The ACC champs and play for this national championship. So like that's all I'm focused on right now. But I know at a time I might tear up maybe a little bit and just kind of sit here and look at everything. But yeah,
I have myself crying a little bit. I think I have all 3 of us crying. It's hard when you walk out with your family. I've seen a number of teammates now just like.
Yeah, if I cry, just I won't cry. I probably won't cry. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what my emotions will be at that time. You know, too many different emotions at one time. But
it's crazy because I mean, only senior that I think finished their 4 years here while I was here was Buck, and he didn't even have a senior night. So don't really know how to react or what it's gonna look like, but we'll see, I guess.
Are you gonna cry or no?
Probably. Bro, I mean, my mom is gonna be there, so I'll probably get pretty emotional.
All right, well, we'll see who cries and who doesn't, but I'm excited to go through it with you guys. It's been a fun year, and then we'll wrap it up with on Saturday and keep this thing rolling. But thanks for taking the time and talking about your stories. Were fun to hear as part of some of them, but even the ones earlier on, it's cool to hear you guys talk about your experience, and it's been a fun ride, man.
Appreciate that, Ryan.
All right.